What's up, guys? Today we're moving on with standings predictions, and we have the Central Division. In 8th place with 62 points at the Chicago Blackhawks. This should not be a surprise. I think they are going to improve this year, but still be one of the worst teams in the league. I'm expecting a huge sophomore season from Bedard. I'm thinking he can get like 80 and 90 points. I think guys like Kurashev, Alex Vlasic could take a step forward, and then they also added guys like Tyler Bertuzzi and Teuvo Teravainen over the offseason. The forward and defense cores as a whole still are not good, though. I think the tandem of Peter Mrazek and Laurent Brossoit, who's currently injured, but when he's healthy, he is the backup goalie. I think that's a decent tandem, but I think this team is still one of the worst in the league. The future's great, but I think they're still a few years away from being back in like the wild card race. In 7th place with 85 points are the St. Louis Blues. The top 6 actually is pretty decent, with the projected first line being Dylan Holloway, Robert Thomas, and Jake Neighbors. And the second line being Alexander Texier, Pavel Buchnevich, and Jordan Kyrou. But Brandon Saad's out day-to-day right now, and he'll probably be back in that top 6 when he's healthy. The bottom 6 is pretty underwhelming, though. That decor is probably bottom 10 in the league, though. It was bad last year, and then they don't even have Torrey Krug this year because he's injured. So Krug was already not the player he used to be, but he was still one of the better guys in that defense core. So without him, it's really going to be worse this year. The projected pairs are now Nick Leddy, Colton Parayko, Philip Broberg, Justin Falk, Ryan Suter, and Matthew Kessel. So probably a bottom 10 decor. They do have a good goalie tandem in Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer, but I do question Binnington if he's going to repeat what he did last year, because he was not good he was not good like the 2 years before that, and he's shown to be inconsistent from year to year. So I'm really not sure what to expect from him this year. So we'll see. But right now, I think the Blues are just a very below average team, and I have them in 7th. In 6th place with 91 points after Utah Hockey Club. I think this team is going to take a huge step forward this year. You look at their forward core, the first line projected to be Nick Schmaltz, Barrett Hayden, Clayton Keller. Second line, Jack McBain, Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther. Third line, Matthias Michelli, Josh Doan, Lawson Krause. And fourth line, Michael Carcone, Kevin Stenlund, and Alex Kerfoot. On the first line, Schmaltz is a solid top 6 winger. We'll see if Barrett Hayden can bounce back this year after having a disappointing year last year. And then Clayton Keller is obviously an elite winger. On top of that, Logan Cooley and Dylan Gunther should continue to improve year after year. So I think they'll take steps forward this year and be impact players, or further be impact players. And I'm really liking the third line too, of Michelli, Doan, and Krause. I think they can be impact guys too. The defense core is okay with guys like Mikhail Sergachev, Sean Durzi, John Marino, who's currently injured, but when he's healthy, he is in that defense core. I think Connor Ingram as net is underrated. I think he can be a very good goalie, especially with a better team in front of him. And yeah, I think this team will definitely take a step forward. And I don't have them in the playoffs yet, but their future is really bright. So I have them coming in 6th with 91 points after having, I think, 77 points last year. So that's still a big improvement. In 5th place and the second wildcard spot, the Minnesota Wild with 99 points. They obviously had a very disappointing season last year, but I think they will bounce back this year. You look at the goaltending start last year, it was absolutely horrendous. And while I don't think Gustafsson will bounce back to his 2023 form, he can hopefully be better than he was last year and still be a decent goalie. The top 6 is looking very good. The first line projected to be Kirill Kaprizov, Marco Rossi, Matt Zuccarello, and the second line projected to be Marcus Johansson, Joel Eriksson-Ek, and Matt Boldy. Kaprizov is obviously a superstar. Rossi and Boldy should continue to get better and better year after year. And then Zuccarello and Eriksson-Ek are both good top 6ers. On defense, I like the top 3 of Brock Faber, Jonas Brodin, and Jared Spurgeon, but the depth of both forwards and defense is a bit lacking in my opinion. But still, this was a 100-plus point team in 2022 and 2023, and I think last year was just a massive down year for them, so I think they will bounce back. I have them coming in 5th with 99 points in the second wildcard spot. In 4th place with 103 points in the first wildcard spot are the Winnipeg Jets. Looking at the forwards, the top 6 is looking very good, with the projected lines being Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabe Vilardi, and the second line being Cole Perfetti, Vladislav Nemesnikov, and Nikolai Ehlers. The depth looks good too. Then on defense, I like the top pair of Josh Morrison and Dylan DeMello, but the depth is kind of lacking in my opinion, so it's a shallow decor. They do, however, have one of the best goalies in the league, the reigning Vezina winner in Connor Hellebuck, so he's always able to bail them out of some games. So I think they did overachieve a little bit last year, but I still think they're a very good team. I have them coming in 4th with 103 points. In 3rd place with 107 points at the Colorado Avalanche. The offense obviously is not as stacked as it was in like 2022 when they won the Cup, but still very good. Obviously led in the top 6 by McKinnon and Rantanen, but then remember, this without Arturi Lehkonen, who's currently injured, so when he gets back, he'll probably be a big part of their offense like he usually is. And then in the bottom six, I like the bottom six too, with especially at third line with Miles Wood, Ross Colton, and Logan O'Connor. The defense is looking really good too. The projected pairs being Devon Taves, Cale Makar, Sam Girard, Josh Manson, Calvin DeHaan, and Sam Malinsky. That top pair is one of the best top pairs in the league, so that's really, like, you've got two top 20 defensemen there, in my opinion. And then my only issue with Colorado is the goaltending. I don't trust Georgiev at all. Even when he had like a 918 save percentage in 2023, I thought that was more the team in front of him than him being a legit elite goalie. So I think that is a concern for the Avalanche. But other than that, I think they're still a very elite team, and I have them coming in third in the Central. In second place, also with 107 points, at the Nashville Predators. So the same number of points as Colorado. I just think the Predators will have a tiebreaker. The Preds obviously added a lot during the offseason. Their projected forward lines are now Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, Gustav Nyquist, Steven Stamkos, Tommy Novak, Jonathan Marchessault, Luke Evangelista, Colton Sissons, Philip Tomasino, and Mark Jankowski, Michael McCarron, and Cole Smith. The forward core is looking absolutely stacked now. It was already good last year, and then they added guys like Marchessault and Stamkos. The top six is looking very dangerous, and the depth is looking really good too. The D core looks solid too, obviously led by Roman Josi, and then they added Brady Shea over the offseason. And then in net, they have Jose Saros, one of the best goalies in the league. He did have a down year last year by his standards, but I think he will bounce back this year and be a top 5 goalie in the league again. And then this team is just looking very complete and very deep, so they're probably the most improved team over the offseason. So I think they're going to have a big year, and I have them finishing second in the Central with 107 points. And that means in first place with 112 points at the Dallas Stars. The forward core, the top 6 is very elite, and then this is probably the deepest forward core in the NHL. The projected lines are currently Jason Robertson, Rupert Hintz, Wyatt Johnston. Second line, Mason Marchment, Matt Duchene, Tyler Seguin. Third line, Jamie Benn, Maverick Bourque, and Logan Stankoven. And fourth line, Evgeny Dadonov, Sam Steele, and Colin Blackwell. So this forward core really is the definition of 4 lines deep. And then the D core, while it's not as good as it was last year, still looking very solid, with the projected pairs being Miro Heiskanen, Matt Dumba, Thomas Harley, Ilya Lyubushkin, and Esa Lindell and Niels Lundqvist. So Heiskanen is a top 5 defenseman in the league, in my opinion, and then Harley should take a step forward after having an amazing year last year. In net, they have Jake Ottinger and Casey Smith, and Ottinger, in my opinion, is a top 10 goalie in the league. So this team just has a lot of talent, and they've got a lot of young guys who can take a step forward on top of that, like Wyatt Johnston, who else are they? Maverick Bourque, Logan Stankoven, and Thomas Harley. So this team is just very deep, very complete, and therefore have them coming in first in the Central with 112 points. But yeah, those are my Central Division standings predictions for the 2024-25 NHL season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who do I have too high? Who do I have too low? And I'll see you in the next video.